Did you ever wonder why quiet individuals seem to accomplish more? If you have, you are not alone. It is a common question. According to psychologists, humans can be classified into two broad personalities based on how they create their energy. So, you are an extrovert if you get your energy from interacting and communicating with other people. In comparison, you are an introvert when you get your point from being quiet and spending time alone. Why do people who like spending time alone tend to get more done? This video will provide answers to your question. There are many reasons for the psychology of a quiet person, why they can get things done more. The first one is that they tend to think before they act. They take the time to consider all the options and weigh the pros and cons before deciding. This careful deliberation means they are less likely to make impulsive decisions that they later regret. Extroverts, on the other hand, are more likely to act before they think. That's not to say that extroverts don't think at all, but their emotions often influence the thinking process. The second psychology of a quiet person is that they are not easily distracted. When you're alone, fewer things are competing for your attention. This allows you to focus more intently on the task and get it done more quickly. Conversely, extroverts often have trouble concentrating because they are constantly bombarded with stimuli from their environment. The third psychology of a quiet person is that they take meticulous notes. Notes are vital to every quiet individual because they realize that not everything can be remembered. Suppose they don't want to risk forgetting a fantastic idea. In that case, they'll jot it down instead of assuming that their memory is excellent. Introverts aren't just fantastic at writing things down. They're also impressive observers. So taking mental notes is an important part of their daily routine. For example, if an introvert sees a beautiful flower, they'll take the time to appreciate it before moving on. At the same time, an extrovert might just snap a picture and keep walking. Fourth, quiet people are creative. A better imagination breeds creativity. And if you spend most of your time in your head, it's only a matter of time before your vision improves. Due to their meticulous observation and planning, introverts often have unique perspectives and problems that allow them to find creative solutions. Creativity and silence have a special relationship, which is why artists, musicians, painters, and even writers require much quiet to be creative. They work on their minds until they come up with some brilliant ideas. The fifth psychology of quiet people is that they are patient. This quality is both an advantage and a disadvantage. The main reason why it's an advantage is that it allows the quiet person to think things through before taking any actions. They don't need instant gratification because they're comfortable with delayed gratification. This is one of the reasons why quiet people tend to be more successful and get more things done than their extroverted counterparts. They're willing to wait for the perfect opportunity instead of jumping at their first chance. However, being patient also has its downside. For example, a quiet person might take too long to decide. By the time they've concluded, the opportunity might have already passed. The sixth psychology of quiet people is that they're independent. That's why they get more things done. This means that they don't need constant validation from others to feel good about themselves. They're comfortable working on their own and don't require the continued approval of others to feel motivated. This allows them to stay focused on their goals and achieve more than those who need constant reassurance. For example, introverts might not care about getting likes on their social media posts. However, they'll still put in the work to create quality content. The seventh psychology of quiet people is that they are reflective. This means that they're constantly thinking about their thoughts and emotions. They're not afraid to delve deep into their minds and examine their own lives. This allows them to grow and change because they always learn from their mistakes. The 8 is that they're good at multitasking. While it's often assumed that extroverts are better at multitasking than introverts, the opposite may be true. Because introverts are more focused and have better control of their attention, they may be better able to juggle multiple tasks simultaneously. In addition, introverts are often less distractible than extroverts, which means they can maintain their focus even when there are competing demands on their attention. As a result, introverts may be able to get more done than their extroverted counterparts. The 9th psychology of quiet people is that they're analytical. It's a common misconception that introverts are shy and withdrawn. In reality, introverts are simply people who prefer to spend time alone or in small groups. And contrary to popular belief, introverts can be successful and get a lot done. One of the reasons for this is that introverts tend to be very analytical. They take the time to think things through before taking action, and as a result, they often make better decisions. And again, introverts are usually very good at focusing and can tune out distractions more quickly than extroverts. This allows them to work on tasks until they're complete single-mindedly. The 10th is that quiet people know their priorities. This is because quiet people are usually very clear about what's important to them. They know their priorities and they stick to them. This allows them to focus on the things that matter most and get more done. For example, introverts might prioritize their work over socializing, making them more likely to get their job done. Next, introverts are not afraid to say no. They know that they can't do everything and are not afraid to turn down invitations or requests to which they can commit. This allows them to focus on what they want to do and what is important to them. For example, introverts might turn down a social invitation because they know they need to work on a project. The 12th psychology of a quiet person is they have more self-discipline. This is because quiet people can control their thoughts and emotions better than those who are always talking and moving around. As a result, introverts are less likely to be distracted by outside stimuli and can focus more on the task at hand, while extroverts, on the other hand, may be more impulsive and easily influenced by their surroundings. The 13th psychology of a quiet person is they are picky about whom they make friends. A quiet person is unlikely to seek peer acceptance. This is usually due to their strong belief in their ability to survive independently, and they do not always prioritize specific human interactions. Fortunately, this makes it easier for them to leave toxic and unhealthy connections. It is common knowledge that quiet people do not have many friends. This is not because they are shy. Rather, they are very picky about who they allow into their personal lives. This allows them to focus on their goals and stay on track. It also means that they're less likely to get sidetracked by distractions or temptations. This careful analysis increases their chances of developing meaningful and richer social connections, which may be just what they need to achieve something successfully. They also view their non-recognition as an opportunity for growth. Most people, including quiet people, prefer to be noticed and praised for their efforts, but not all of the time. Quiet people prefer obscurity because it allows them to develop and progress on their terms. Although getting feedback and constructive criticism from the public is fantastic, it also puts a ton of pressure on you. On the other hand, quiet people use building in obscurity to know and understand other vital abilities such as self-control, mental mastery, and the ability to keep working even when no one is around to commend the small victories. Introverted people often care more about results than informing others of their methods. That is how they succeed. As the saying goes, The proof is in the pudding. And this could not be more true for quiet people. They would show you what they can do rather than tell you about it. This is because quiet people are often more interested in results than recognition. This focus on results allow them to stay laser focused on their goals and achieve them more quickly. It also means that they are less likely to get sidetracked by distractions or temptations. Lastly, they are naturally gifted planners. They use their self-awareness to think ahead and plan for future contingencies. This allows them to make the best use of their time and resources. It also means that they are less likely to get caught up in the moment and make impulsive decisions that they later regret. Quiet people are some of the world's most successful and respected people. This is because they possess many essential qualities for success, such as self-awareness, discipline, focus, and the ability to plan. If you want to succeed in your own life, then it is essential to learn from the example of quiet people and adopt some of their habits. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Thank you and goodbye.